Dude, not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now. But
Right. Welcome, everyone, to the Survivor Now podcast, and welcome back to our exit interviews for Survivor Australia versus the World. I'm very excited to be doing this, and today it's a bittersweet moment because today I am joined by the Zulu King, he may be referred to as. I called him a legend of Survivor South Africa. It is the lovely Rob Bentele. Rob, how are you doing?
Oh, very well, and yourself, Ollie.
I'm doing well. It's a bittersweet moment. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, but which maybe it wasn't so soon. We know. But first things first, I do have to ask you, how are you doing? How are things?
I couldn't be happier. I was very happy with that edit. I went out swinging, guns blazing. I think that's me. So I'd rather have done that than taken it easy and gone under the radar and still getting voted out. I think I did justice to my name, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if anyone knows your season of Survivor South Africa, we know that you play big, you play hard. So absolutely understand it. I've obviously got a load of questions to ask you, but I do want to start off with some obviously pre-season things, because I really want to know, since this season was basically the Survivor Olympics, what was that feeling like, getting the call to say, hey, we're doing in Australia versus the world and we want you to be a part of it? Like, what was that feeling like, and why did you say yes to being a part of the cast?
Well, the first thing I said was, what took you so long? I always knew this was coming. I just didn't expect them to take this long. So I've literally been waiting. I knew the time was going to come. And for me, I love Survivor. I love playing it, and I love Survivor Australia. It's actually the only other franchise that I do watch other than Survivor South Africa. So that is literally my favorite franchises of the show. So I couldn't have been happier. It was immediately, go get your Zulu vests, suit up, game on.
You literally sat there and went, I've got the suitcase, I'm ready to go. I'm off. Just tell me what time I've got to go to the airport. So obviously, well, like you said, you wanted to be here, you wanted to compete. So did you have any expectations kind of coming into the season? What were you looking forward to coming onto the Aussie turf and the Aussie season?
Yeah, look, for me, Survivor Australia is physically the most toughest of them all. So if there was ever a franchise I want to actually play, it was Australia, definitely by far. I mean, those challenges are brutally tough. So that's perfect for me. That's my forte. I was a bit sad there was only 16 days because I know how my game works. My game works, it's tentacles that I can only put in over time. It takes a long time to get. But I was just happy, blessed, honored, proud just to be invited there in the first place. I was so happy and still am excited that I was a part of it. I would do it all over again.
I was going to say, I can see the excitement. Obviously, you mentioned the challenges. I'm with you. I'm such a fan of the Australian challenges. Like, I do think that they are amazing. They are up here. Were you excited to do the challenges? I know you only did 2 of them, but did you have kind of a favorite one, or even just a favorite part of a challenge that you're just like, that will remind me of Survivor AU?
Yeah, I mean, those boxes were nice and heavy. Everything was it's what you expect. It's all rounded, very physical. I think there's no secret. My favorite challenge is the underwater challenge. Which unfortunately I never got to do. I think it's the one challenge I believe I'm the best in the world at. If anyone does come close, it's probably David. Because once you know the technique behind it, I could see he was using the same thing, that he was doing the same thing I was doing. And that been the best challenge to ever play. I was praying we can get underwater one, but unfortunately get there.
Unfortunately, these things happen, but I know maybe there's time it could happen again. You never know. But obviously, I want to get into a little bit with your tribe, because obviously you walked in, it was the world tribe, in my opinion, world class. So what was your kind of initial reaction with your tribe? Like when you saw everyone there, was there anyone that surprised you? Was there anyone that you're like, I'm stoked that this person is on my tribe? What were the dynamics there? And also with the Aussie tribe, because you got some Titans on that other tribe as well.
Yeah. No, so look, with my tribe, I didn't know any one of them. I knew a bit about Tony, but no one there, no one was making me excited that they were here because I didn't have a clue who they were in the first place, to my detriment. But with the Aussie tribe, oh man, that's where I was fanning out hard because I'm a big fan of each and every one of them. Janine was there, Luke was there, George was there, Sarah, Kirby, and the Golden God himself. I mean, really, what more could I ask for? It was like a super pack of all the main people that I wanted to. And it was why, but I get it now. David was staring me down the second we got on that mat. I promise you, he could look at me and he looked at me like he wanted to murder me. It was crazy. Like I was like, bro, what did I do to this guy? Like, why kidding me like this? You don't see it too well in the edit, but believe you me, he stared me down for ages. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? Not realizing that he actually just wants to extend an olive branch. He wants to work with me. He's also. I knew who I am, but I didn't expect, the Golden God himself to be a fan of me. So that's what I couldn't have expected.
That's kind of like your humble moment. You're like, do you know what? No matter what happens, Golden God loves me. Get me. But obviously, with the Golden God in that first challenge, we did kind of see David extend that olive branch, and it was straight off the gate. It was, in my opinion, like Survivor Australia to its core. First challenge, right? Let's cross tribal. Were you expecting that off the bat? And with that initial conversation, were you kind of all in, or was there hesitation to be like, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to wait, just think about things first before I just go, yes, Golden God, whatever you say?
Yeah, you see, so look, when he started talking with me, I was still stuck. I didn't know whether he was just lining me up to make to take out later on in the game. It's almost like you're planting a seed, you're planting a crop now so you can harvest it later. So it was a bit confusing because the way he was looking at me, it didn't look like a friendly look. Okay, he was, how he can look at, got those eyes and his face you can pull. So and then when he said he wants to make plans and stuff, I didn't know whether he's busy playing me right now or it's legit. And it only amplified it, made it even worse when I eventually speak to Parv, and Parv tells me that no, David wants to play with you. I wasn't too sure. In a game like Survivor, you don't know if this is part of the play because I knew that I'm a dangerous player, and that's why he's planting the seeds in early in the game. So I was still at crossroads with him. I just needed, I believe, if I'd stayed in the game long enough and we'd actually gotten a tribe together, we could talk together in person, I would have immediately, because we have met in person now and, great friends. Off the bat, I realized I could have trusted David. I could have worked with him in that game, but we just needed to have a proper conversation together. Unfortunately, we didn't get there.
Yeah, you just needed a bit of time, which is always the case, I think, in Survivor.
Admit, I definitely came in way too hard too soon. I was trying to very big bust very early in that game because there was no time. If you see with my last game, it took me a while to be able to get that kind of control over the tribe, and I tried to replicate that in a very short space of time. I should have, my fault. I should have consulted my core alliance better. But I really was fighting because I had their best interests in heart. At the end of the day, I just wanted one of the small franchises to win. I wanted one of our little, no, America's really big. I wanted at least one of us dogs to get to the end. Truly speaking, I was fighting if I could.
Yeah, I totally get that. You saw the Aussies, you saw the Americans, and you were like, hold on, what about the rest of us here? Like, we all want our moment as well. Obviously, you mentioned kind of your core alliance. So I'm assuming that was Cass, Tommy, and Lisa. I'm going to assume it was the fact that you all were kind of non-US players in this world tribe, that's what drew you to them.
Yeah, look, for me, I was playing with logic there. I wasn't playing with past relationships. Logically, that was the best decision for us to do. Is the four of us stick together, we take out one of the Americans. So I kind of estimated their logic as well. I think that I'll be honest with you, Cass and I, the edit didn't show it too well. It was obviously not enough time, to show everything. I think they did a brilliant job with this one. They were true to the story, but they didn't have enough time to really show. Cass and I clicked very well. She was my ride or die there. I trusted her more than anyone. Tommy as well. We were solid. I could always feel the weakest point of that four alliance was always going to be Lisa. I could just feel it. I could pick. She never really clicked and locked in with me properly.
Yeah.
I, though, should have consulted them a lot better. Instead of me trying to take the whole tribe, I should have just focused on the 4 we had and worked with that. But I was thinking of the fight ahead with the Australians. So I didn't want to fracture that tribe more than that I have to. So even if we're going to blindside someone, I got greedy. I tried to bring everyone in on it, which would be, it's been tough to do with normal players. But to try and do that with the best players on earth in 2 days, that was a very tall order, you know. But I still went for it. I had no fear. I was playing with absolutely no fear because of the game I'd just come. You know, it was like I left Island of Secrets and walked straight into that one, the exact same mindset. I didn't, you know, but I find it a good thing because now I've experienced both spectrums of the game. I've won it spectacularly. First. So I've seen both extremes of each side. Now I believe I found the right balance point going in next time when I decide to play. Definitely, I'll be much more wild.
I love that you say next time, like, yeah, you know it's going to happen. You know at some point they're going to be like, come back over. Another franchise.
That was too entertaining to say no. You know, were you not entertained? I did my job. That's what I came there.
Like, exactly. But we do have to talk about obviously the Parvati of it all, shall we say, because the whole kind of episode 1 was this lovely friendship, I will say, that you and Parvati had. Obviously, that first conversation that we saw was yourself and Parvati, and you were bonding. She was giving you some information, and then she kind of gave you her secret, which obviously us as viewers had already known about, but in that moment it was completely new information. Were you always going to keep that secret, or were you kind of biding your time, being like, I'm waiting until the perfect moment to say, by the way, here's this special connection. This is something she hasn't really told us. Or was it just an off the cuff of, you're going to say it when you need to?
Yeah, look, so when I play Survivor, I'm not really putting on much of a character. I'm just always myself. You know, I can't say I'm loyal to, I can't say I love fighting for the underdogs. I can't say when I make an alliance off the bat, it feels like my family and I try to do everything I can to protect them. So when Parv did tell me that secret, I had every intention of keeping it. You don't want to burn your social capital so early in the game. So it truly was a secret I was keeping as long as humanly possible. Even before we went to merge, I never said a word to no. I mean, before we went to tribal, I never said a word of it to no one. I went into the tribal planning on not saying it either. I did not want to go there. I was trying by all means not to do that, because when I make a promise, I really do everything I can to keep that promise. However, with her and I against each other like that, it was two bulls in a crowd. We were always going to butt heads. And too big of characters to ever, you know, go too far together. But I really did want to work. Genuinely did want to work with Parv because she handed me a silver bullet on her, which is why I moved too quickly. Instead of first starting with my inner alliance, the 4 of us, to ask them, hey guys, what do you guys want to do? I wanted to show Parv that, Parv, I literally want to bring you in on the core alliance, which is why I decided to just say, okay, come in and let's all chat together, so she can see that I want to. My mistake was that obviously not knowing the how serious their relationship between Parv and Siri is. It's like a 16-year thing they've been working together. It's knowledge. I didn't have a clue about all these things, you know. It looks like a dumb move to you guys, but if you don't know these people, you don't know their stories, it's very tough to kind of. For me, Siri again was a logical choice because we have too many Americans here. Siri's not helping us in the challenges. She's not doing anything around camp. We need to keep the tribe strong, because if we get weaker, then we keep coming back to tribal and keep having to zap ourselves out nonstop, you know, and then we go with the minority anyway, then we have to scramble the whole way through the game because the Australians have the numbers on us already. I don't like scrambling too much. I like to line myself up properly so that we can push through almost anything that comes in later. I don't want to be on a back foot. So I did try and bring Parv in, but yeah, I mean, you know, you saw the second time we spoke. Had she just told me Tony, I could have gone with it. I would have gone with it. I do see there was a Tony angle there. But again, my initial thing was I did not want to get rid of Tony. Firstly, because he was one of the only people, other than Cass as well. Cass is a demon as well in challenge. But Tony was pushing hard with me there. You know, I could feel strength with him, you know. So I didn't want to weaken us like that, because then we keep going back to tribal. But I could have messed with her and we could have gone for Tony. But I also didn't want to have too many women around us now, because the moment there's too many women now, then they automatically make a female alliance. The same way that we would do if there was too many men. All of a sudden it's a male alliance. To keep that balance. Yeah. We're trying to keep that balance.
Yeah, and do you know what? I absolutely get the balance. It's when you're explaining it as someone that's watching it, obviously, we're all going to have our opinions, but it absolutely makes sense. And yeah, of course, now it makes sense that you didn't know about the Syrian poverty because you haven't done that, and that's fine. We know probably half the other people didn't do their research either. It's just us crazy super fans over here that have gone, let's deep dive everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is a couple of more things I just want to touch on. Obviously, you did touch on bringing poverty in during that pre-tribal discussion and wanting to kind of have her in the fold. That discussion in the water, it was such great TV. I've got to say that. What was your feeling? Because it was very clear that it was literally you were here, Parvati was here, and everyone else was awkwardly in the middle going, oh. So what was that feeling? And did you, after that conversation, have any kind of inkling that maybe, oh, the target's on my back?
Yeah, look, it definitely didn't go the way I thought it would have gone. I should have, again, I can admit, I should have first consulted the inner circle. I should have first sat down with the four of us and then let them make suggestions, you know? It would have been much better. But again, with the pace of that game, I wanted to move. I was moving definitely a bit too quick. And for me, that vote was a line in the sand. I could not let any one of us go. It was non-negotiable. Like that with everything I had, because one of us go, we are forever going to be scrambling through this game. I didn't want that to happen because one of us went. Now you've got 3 Americans still can hold tight, and it just takes them to take one of them on the other side. I could feel Lisa was loose anyway. Like we weren't locked in properly.
Yeah.
When she would have been the first one to betray us. Now we're on the back foot for the rest of the game. So it was a fight that I had to. I did not want to let one of us go home. An American had to go home. So that was the Parv could not have told me any name from our side, our alliance, that I would have no chance. I was truly fighting for the betterment of us. They didn't realize how loyal I was at the time. I think they watch it back now, they realize that I truly had their best interest in heart. I really did.
Yeah. I mean, it's that thing. Hindsight is 20/20 at the end of the day, but I definitely think looking back, I can see that it was loyalty and it was the benefit. I do have to ask, with Tribal, did you have any idea that it was going to be you? Because it did look like a bit of a blindside, but did you kind of have an inkling like, yeah, it's probably me at this point?
I can 100% say to you, going into Tribal, I felt 100% safe. I had no inkling of that the whole tribe would turn on me. Because again, I'm relying on their logic. I can work with a person's logic, but not their feelings and emotions. So let's put it like this. I underestimated Parv. I can admit that off the back, but I also overestimated my own inner alliance's logical thinking. The fact that they know this is the most logical decision to do, so they will go with it. So I didn't even push them that hard. I didn't even go and continue to solidify plans with them and lock it in to make sure. I'm not someone who really knows fear in the game. I don't panic. So I really trusted that they know that this is the most logical decision. We have to take out an American here today. So, but then once we got into Tribal, I can recall seeing that Siri felt very relaxed. Parv was very relaxed. So that's where the red flag started showing. And I was struggling to get my own alliance as well, which is why when I started sensing something, I took that shot just at Parv, you know. But then when I took that shot, I didn't finish up because I got everyone's mind spinning. And that was the perfect time to then finish up. I even stopped the conversation and I said, no, let's go in. Because I thought, no, I'm fine. But I should have really finished up properly there. And that's where I did also make a mistake, you know. But that's why you live and you learn. And I love the game of Survivor. You win some, you lose some. It's a game, but I still love the game. It doesn't change. It's what makes the game so amazing, you know. So I definitely do know. Now I'm forced to come back because they crown. They keep it warm for now, but I'm coming back to fetch it. One way.
I love that. I love that. I can't wait for that moment to come back. My final question for you, Rob, was a bit more of a positive spin. What was your favorite moment, or like from your time in the game? Was there a moment that sticks out for you that you're going to remember with this AU vs the World season?
my favorite moment by far would just have to be how that it opened up. It opened up beautifully. I mean, I beat the Golden God 1-on-1. Even with the extra weight I came on there with, I was still quicker than him. I could move. I could hold my weight. I was balanced. I was strong. And beating David off the cuff just like that, the whole tribe was just was priceless.
I love that. You were like, you know what? I've won this. I've got this on my humble brag, so I'll take that. But Rob, thank you so much for doing this. I greatly appreciate this chance to talk to you and hear everything that you have. Again, like I said, I know that it was early for you to go home, but hold your head up high. It was amazing. You came in and you put on a show and you left your mark on Australian Survivor versus the world. So thank you so much. Please know you are more than welcome to come on Survivor Now anytime you want. I know that we would love to have you. But just thank you so much for spending this time with me and just having this chat. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Ollie. I appreciate you taking the time out. And it's always fun chatting to Survivor, especially with people who are as passionate about it as I am. So I appreciate your time as well. And have a lovely day further, bro. Anytime you want to chat, let's make it happen.
I'm holding you to that.